Hey, TikTok. So guys, we got a good one today, all right? I happened to stumble across a plasma physicist by the name of C.J. Ransom. Now look, now behind me is some of his work, and I was looking at this and I'm like, this is super interesting, right? And I'm like, where have I seen this before? And then I started thinking, I'm like, the moon! Yes, the moon! These are images from the moon, and what he is doing, his experiments, are showing what happens when you have an electrical discharge inside of plasma. It literally creates craters. Like, interesting. And on a flat Earth, I know that our world is contained by an electromagnetic sphere called the firmament. Interesting. So then I stumble across this, I'm thinking, and I'm like, man, so maybe there's like a additional, where, what if the sun gives the electrical charge, and through the ether, which we know has electricity, at certain angles, obviously moon phases, it creates some sort of highway for electricity to enact on the plasma. And I come across this, which is showing different amperages and how it, look at the picture! The picture right here, look, it's going right into the navel of the moon, where we have all these cracks. It's like, wow, it's like, dude, that's exactly what I was seeing in my mind. But then I'm like, well, listen, dude, you can't just have, there's a couple craters created by electrical discharge. Well, no, these are all electrical discharges under microscope, all different. Here's another one. And again, when I saw this, I said, man, that almost looks like the hexagon we've seen on a planet before. And boom, right fucking here. What do you know? It's on the moon. It's in the solar. Guys, it's been in our face the whole time. But it doesn't stop there. As I was researching further, I found this electrical discharge here, and I thought this was super interesting. Then I found this, where you have electricity creating these weird stickmen, these weird stick figures here. Again, I find this image, right, showing a sphere, which if we were in Earth, that's what it would look like on the moon, right? No, that's not what we're seeing. But on a plane, on a level plane, the topographical, that is what we are seeing. One point of impact of an electrical discharge with, it almost looks like tree roots going out through the electrical discharge, because that's the electrical current finding the easiest path of resistance. Which then took me here. This is what you get when you see some of these discharges, and these are markings found all over the world. What's going on? Now, crazy enough, that's not it. I've seen some of these symbols posted all over the world as well. Interesting. What if some of these here, now what if some of these down here, okay, what if some of these were weapons? What if you had a way to harness the ether using gold or certain metals?
We're going to turn this into demonstrating and experimenting with the reality are flat earthers.
That's me. There's the equator. The sun is going to be right here. Okay? And it's going to be about that high. Okay? Okay. So this is going to get quite interesting. Watch. Okay, there's another thing. We're level. Why are we level? Because we're on a level universe. Period. Okay. You're catching on. I sense it. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the biblical aspect of it. Okay? Okay. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. The earth was without form and void. And darkness was below the surface of the deep. And God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. Can you see where it's getting from? There's the sun. Get it? It's over the equator. See that dot? Interesting, good. That's what you're in. You're in a firmament. Under a firmament. On a level universe. That's how it works. See? I'm mimicking. That's all I'm doing. I'm just copying it. Now, when you look at it, see where I am? And where the sun is, it's going to be just... Oh, I'm about here. It's on the left side, on the right side of me. Yeah. Doesn't lie, just doesn't lie. Just not showing you right where the sun is to where I am. Let's go on. That's 12 o'clock actually, so I'm right on 12 o'clock. So this is 12 o'clock. That's how high it is. See, this is going to be taught in schools. Wow, that's cool, isn't it? You're actually seeing what you're in. That's it. That's how it works. Cool, huh? You see these names, Gemini, it's a twin. Okay, I don't know what it is. Now look at Africa. Notice Cain. After Cain, that's what that means. Huh? Okay, you can do this at home. Okay. There you go. That's what you're in. That's how it works. Doesn't matter where I move. It's gonna sink. And the sun's right behind me, to my left. Well, from this view, it's to my left. Okay, and that's what it meant by the Bible when the heavens and God created heaven and earth, the form and void. That's what it's talking about. That's exactly what it's talking about.
For all the globe people out there, I'm just thinking, if I set aside this flat earth theory, do you think we landed on the moon? I feel like the globe and landing on the moon goes hand in hand, and then like flat earth and not landing on the moon goes hand in hand. So I'm super curious about your opinion if you think that we landed on the moon, because Buzz, you know, the second guy that landed on the moon, doesn't think so, and there's a lot of interviews that have been proving it. So let me just show you.
Nobody been to the moon in such a long time?
That's not an 8-year-old's question. That's my question. I want to know, but I think I know. Because we didn't go there, and that's the way it happened. And then we'd done a lot of things, but we hadn't really sent people to the moon. So we did send...
My parents waking me up, and we went down and we watched you guys land on the moon.
No,
which
you
was
didn't. No, you didn't.
What?
Because there wasn't any television. There wasn't anybody taking a picture. You watched animation. See, you associated what you saw with...
I have very hazy memories.
Yeah, I know.
Well, no, but what we saw was we all were gathered around the old curved top radio and listened.
Talking about you know, how many feet we were going to the left and right, and then I said, contact light, engine stop.
It was
and
exciting.
A few other things, and then Neil said, Houston, Tranquility Base, the Eagle has landed. Man, how about that?
That was very exciting.
Not a bad line.
Yeah. This was so.
I just found out if you do a Google search for the most searched words in Google, Flat Earth has about 2.8 billion views. I'm going to say it again. Flat Earth has been searched out by people 2.8 billion times. And I'm just thinking, finally, people are waking up. Finally, people are discovering the truth. The Earth has been flat the whole time. For 500 years, humanity's been lied to. But finally, people are waking up and realizing that globe Earth was a lie the whole time. Absolutely the whole time. It's been flat our entire lives, our entire existence. Finally, people are realizing it. Thank you.
If you didn't know already, the US government is releasing the truth in a lot of their patents and documents that they have on their website. CIA, NASA, doesn't really matter. They're kind of admitting the truth. Here's a list here of every year that a US patent was released on how to control the weather. Feel free to search any of these patents up. And here's 3 documents from NASA admitting the Earth is flat and non-rotating. The DPS equations of motion use 4 assumptions that simplify the program while maintaining its fidelity for most maneuvers and applications: point mass modeling, non-turbulent atmosphere, zero side forces, and a non-rotating Earth. This report documents the derivation and definition of a linear aircraft model for a rigid aircraft of constant mass flying over a flat, non-rotating Earth. Last one. The model frequently used is that of a flat, non-rotating Earth. But these new documents that I found last night on the CIA's website is gonna surprise you probably. Photographic observations of the spectral intensity of the firmament. The spectral brightness of the firmament along the alsocanter of the sun was observed. Here's a document, the color temperature of the firmament. Investigation on the zodiacal light, provisional results obtained by the observation of the Soviet expedition in Egypt of the diurnal firmament can attain up to 70%. What are these guys they're admitting it. There is a hard, fast barrier above us, and it's not called the Van Allen belts, just like the science community is trying to perpetuate now. They're trying to say that there's an impenetrable barrier in the sky, but it's not the firmament. It's the Van Allen belt. No, it's the firmament. They tell you the truth in the patents, in the papers, in the documents. They just hope that you won't go reading them. Me, I'm gonna continue reading these patents and I'm gonna find the truth. And I'm gonna keep exposing it, just like I'm doing on my podcast. If you want to check it out, link tree in my bio. We talk about a lot of things that could never talk about on here.
Okay, you guys, I'm about to explain some crazy shit, so just follow me. Or try to follow along, because it's a lot. So in this video on my page, I talk about Mars. The land of Mars is where the custodians and the Anunnaki send humans that help mislead other humans. So basically, it's like their reward to be sent to Mars. They live longer on Mars, and it's just much better than Earth because they are literally poisoning us here on Earth. Okay, so this is where you need to follow me. So Elon Musk is actually trying to colonize Mars. He thinks by 2050 he'll have 1 million people on Mars. Now there's a book called Project Mars that was written by von Braun. I don't know if I pronounced that right. And this came out in 1953. In this book, Martians' social structure and their form of government, which is run by 10 men under the leadership of the Elon. So the Martians in that book named their leader the Elon. Is that not like predictive programming? Is it not weird that we have a man today named Elon who's trying to get to Mars? It kind of reminds me of this book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey, which was written in the 1800s. And President Trump has a son named Baron Trump. And this same author wrote a book called The Last President, in which he details a riot happening on 5th Avenue at a hotel, which is suspicious because Trump Tower is also located on 5th Avenue. So how are these two connected, you're asking? Well, it's connected because Elon Musk said he wants to reverse the ban that Twitter put on Trump. Now I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what is the agenda here. Let's not forget that Space Force was actually created during Trump's presidency. These two men are trying really hard to promote space exploration, knowing damn well that there is no outer space as an up. It's out as in an outer land beyond the ice wall. And they know this and they're trying to mislead us. Do not trust Elon Musk. Do not trust Donald Trump. Don't even trust me. Do your own fucking research. Those motherfuckers are going to be living their best life on Mars while your ass is still stuck in this dome watching it all play out.
All right, what's really going on? look at the opposites. It's really easy to tell their lies. Elon is saying, look at my space agency. And we're going to go up into the atmosphere and I'm going to bring everybody to Mars. But that's the fake space agency. And he's also got a company called the Boring Agent Company, which says, don't look down, don't look over here, this is boring. But this is his real space agency. If you know, when there was the first space race between us and the Russians, we also had an underground or underwater space agency. And all of a sudden, we found something under the water, and all the talk about the underwater space agency of NASA stopped. And everything was geared towards the moon, and we're going to the moon, and they faked this whole moon thing. And they're telling you, look up. We found something up there. Don't look down here in the ocean where we really found something. So what they know is that from the Bible, it tells us Earth looks like this. It's a flat plane, and underneath is the Sheol, or the holes. And we know that UFOs don't come to planet Earth through the sky. They come through water, because there's these tunnels under the water that go and link to different places, like Mars, or way over to Jupiter, which is still really far away, because you got to go through all these underwater stationary, tunnels or channels. And in between those, there's places that don't have a sun, so they're just frozen solid. So we have tons and tons and tons of these little bubbles everywhere, but there's no sun in those. There's only sun in a few certain ones, and that's what we see as the stars in the sky, is this one way over here. So everything here is opposite. It's really easy to understand once you realize that.